For my sisters, it is that time of the month when we are no longer required to pray Salat or perform the obligatory ritual prayer for Muslims. Our menstrual cycle or period has started, and for the next few days we are generally making adjustments to the type of prayer we wish to perform. For many of us, this time is spent in reflection, making dua, performing dhikr, reading Islamic text, or listening to or reciting the Quran to ourselves. However, many women and girls have a sense of guilt or shame, or simply feel bad when not praying Salat, especially during Ramadan, for example. But I want to remind you that Allah knows best why He created you and I, and He also gave us the knowledge via science, for example, to understand why we as women and young girls have a menstrual cycle, and why our bodies undergo such a normal and fascinating physiological process. And for some of us, even though we have the intention of remaining consistent with the spirit of prayer, we are sidelined and perhaps bedridden with the most common period-related symptoms. These symptoms may include lower abdomen cramps, lower back pain, diarrhea, nausea, fatigue, and headaches. The scientific term for menstrual cramps or period cramps is primary dysmenorrhea, and this affects roughly 90% of adolescent girls and more than 50% of menstruating women. As a result of primary dysmenorrhea, many of us miss school, exams, or assignments. We may miss work and meetings, and sometimes we must use our sick time to take time away from work every month. We may also have a hard time tending to ourselves and our homes, our children, our families, and in the end we aren't able to focus on the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this time as we thought we would. The cause of primary dysmenorrhea is usually having too many prostaglandins, which are chemicals made by the uterus. The chemicals make the muscles of the uterus tighten and relax, and this causes the cramps, as well as other symptoms I mentioned. Now, there are many approaches to alleviating menstrual cramps and the host of other symptoms that follow when you're on your period. One of the primary recommendations that pharmacists or other healthcare professionals may give for treating menstrual cramps and associated pain is to try an over-the-counter pain reliever such as a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug or NSAID. NSAIDs includes ibuprofen, diclofenac, and naproxen, for example. Besides relieving pain, NSAIDs slow down the rate of prostaglandin production that our uterus makes, and it also lessens their effects. This helps to lessen the cramps you feel. You can also take NSAIDs when you first have your symptoms, and you can keep taking them as the symptoms present themselves. You should not take the NSAIDs if you have ulcers or other stomach problems, bleeding problems, or liver disease. You should also not take them if you are allergic to aspirin. And on this note, we do, however, first like to recommend women and girls try non-pharmacological treatment. That includes using a heating pad or hot water bottle or even rice in a sock heated in the microwave and applying it on your lower abdomen. But be careful that the heat is not too much or too hot for your skin. Additional recommendations include, number 1, getting in some light exercise, as it can be good for you, or even going for a walk can be good for you. Number 2, taking a very warm bath that can soothe the symptoms. Or, number 3, the mere act of performing dua and dhikr is enough. Replenishment and restoration is a key and crucial part of taking care of ourselves when we are on our periods. Menstruation is a natural part of our lives as women and girls, and it is necessary to take care of ourselves, both our physical and spiritual being. From a nutrient perspective, this includes eating more fresh fruits and green vegetables, either it be whole or in a smoothie. And did you know that research indicates that women who live in America tend to enjoy chocolate more than other women around the world when we are on our menstrual cycle? And while this might not be a bad thing, one can also try to incorporate additional nutrient food that can increase 2 heavily depleted vitamins and minerals during one's menstrual cycle. These are iron and magnesium. Iron can be found in spinach, apricot, and beans, and magnesium can be found in grapefruit, cantaloupe, and raspberries, for example. There are also additional fluids that can help, including golden milk and tea. A lot of herbs, for example, can be used in combination as it can exert a synergistic or compound effect. Tea is also a great way to replenish not only our fluids, but it is also a good way to stay hydrated while boosting our mood. Some popular herbs to include in your tea, as they have been shown to reduce period cramps and provide comfort during one's menstrual cycle, include raspberry leaf, nettle, and chamomile. Also, by keeping track of your health needs, it will be easier to remain healthy and productive during your menstrual cycle. So ask yourself a few days before your period, how do I feel? Is there a certain food that I am craving that may not be entirely good for me that I should stop consuming because it may make my period worse? Now keep in mind, there is no one solution that fits all. However, it is a start. It may also be worthwhile to check in with a healthcare professional directly to see what type of personalized support and care they can provide for you. Underlying medical conditions have been found to exacerbate or aggravate period symptoms, so sometimes direct care is needed. Inshallah, this video has been helpful. There are so many ways to approach treating and caring for yourself or someone you know when they are on their period. So I will have more of this type of content in the future, inshallah, if you would like. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of these videos. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. As-salam.